Cameraman 1.
2,
3, 4, 5,
6,
7,
8.
9.
Jessica Rogero.
Hi everyone, I'm Jessica. Thank you for coming today, and I'm here to persuade you all why I think genetically modified foods are not safe. To begin, they introduce harmful toxins into the body. Then the construction of these GMOs gives rise to superweeds, which then is going to create a negative environment altogether. And finally, they lack stern regulation, which then I think makes it unsafe to consume. I would like to elaborate more on my first point on why they bring harmful toxins into the body, and it all starts with the genetic engineering of plants. This causes a damage in the mutation of the plant's DNA, and when this happens, the gene is harmed. And when the gene is harmed, the protein starts to give rise to allergies and even disease. The Institute for Responsible Technology is a website that supports GMOs being not safe for our body and tells you the effects that they could have on us. Did a study on a prick allergy test of wild natural soy and genetically modified soy. The results came back and more people were more allergic to genetically modified soy. And not saying everyone is going to have that same reaction. Your body's different, your body could be different to that. I think what they're really trying to say is just be aware of how much you're eating it and how often you are as well. And they posted a quote on this website that stated, "The stomach lining of rats were fed genetically modified potatoes, which led in excessive cell growth, which could lead to cancer." And that is actually true. I learned about this in another one of my classes. And the good thing about it, it's a reversible change. So if you were to catch it early and had diet modifications and change what you ate and not eating as much GMOs, you could reverse this change and it could not lead to cancer. My second point on why the construction of these genetically modified foods gives rise to superweeds begins with a gene flow. The gene flow is a transfer of one gene from one population to another, and this occurs in genetically modified organisms. But when this happens, we give rise to superweeds. Another name for this is an herbicide-resistant weed. In order to kill these herbicides, farmers have to increase the toxicity level. But when we do this, we create a lethal environment. Not only that, but superweeds also kill neighboring organisms, which is going to decrease in the biodiversity. When we don't have a good biodiversity, we're not going to have a rise to eco-friendly organisms. So that's not going to help the ecosystem in the end. I found a quote by an author named Tzatziki that stated, "The main disadvantage of superweeds is the reduction of weed diversity in agricultural landscape. This leads to a decrease in diversity and beneficial insects." And what this is saying is, when we have superweeds, it's not only affecting the environment and the air, it's also going to affect everything around them, like beneficial insects and organisms. So when we're not all working together, we're not going to have a good result. And my last point on why I think genetically modified foods lack stern regulation, it all comes down to laws don't implement labels of genetically modified foods. Basically what that means is manufacturers are responsible for putting those labels on their foods. And I think this isn't really good just because they could put whatever they want on them, like this is GMO free or this is not. So I think there needs to be more laws to make sure what is in them is actually true. I found an article that talked about a chemical named aspartame. This is a fatal chemical. It's neurotoxic to animals. You can find it on low-calorie sugars, so like the boxes of cereal, like Trix cereal or fruit juices that kids love. And the bad thing about this is the effects of this chemical isn't actually put on the product. So if you were to go to the grocery store and buy this product and see that this chemical is in there, there isn't no written effects on what it does to you. You would only know if you were to research it. So I think that's something that really needs to be looked into so that people are more aware of what they are eating and this chemical that is in products. And my last point on why I think it lacks stern regulation is the FDA does not have any further testing if GMOs are safe or not. A policy analyst named Jason Dietz stated that it is the manufacturer's responsibility to ensure that these are safe, and I agree with that to some extent. I think, yes, it is their responsibility to make sure that their products are safe, but I also think there needs to be further testing so we can put people's mind at ease, like, hey, this product you're eating is safe. We will do another test to make sure of that. Today, I tried to convince you all that genetically modified foods are not safe. I explained why I think they put harmful toxins into the body. I told you the construction of these foods gives rise to superweeds, which then makes a negative environment. And finally, they do lack stern regulation, which makes them unsafe to consume.
Cameraman 1,
2,
3, 4, 5,
6,
7,
8,
9,